Which guy?
Ronan is, like, I just started the stream, so I can't really answer him, but Ronan is asking me the kind of equipment that he would need or the setup he would need to start doing his own streams. And I'm like, you literally just asked me that as I was going live, so there's not a lot that I can do.
Plus I am looking at the YouTube app and watching the stream there for comments in case you miss them.
Okay, so let's see. Let me load this up myself as well, actually, before I really get started on much. Doop, doop.
Close that application.
Come on. There we go. There it is. Look at that. Okay, so there's like me and you in here, and that's all there is, but
Yep.
that's okay. There's a point to this stream. I'm going to go through my custom characters, kind of look at them, get an idea of where I am with each one of them, how I feel about it, maybe make some, yes I am live, sir.
You live live.
Okay, I don't see any issues with him. I thought about modifying him a little bit. I think he's as done as he's going to get. Nunchucks makes the most sense. I mean, I could do bow staff and shit like that, but really, I think he's fine. What's going on, man?
Seth is on the chat.
Yeah, I see him.
No,
Okay.
I mean what Brad was posted.
All right. I don't hate my Alucard. In fact, I'm actually quite happy with him.
Alucard.
I don't see much to change. I thought, like, if I have any kind of issue with it, it's that I did the slightly tall. I didn't want him to be too big. But look, these are the stats. This is as skinny as a dude can be in this game. That's it. Like, and I guess he is skinny, but, like, all the dudes seem big to me. So that hurts characters like if you want to make a Cloud Strife, which I'll go over how to do that, because I need to make one for this tab, and I've gotten fairly proficient at doing a decent one. But that's as small as you can make him, and I feel like, and maybe it's just the coat, but I feel like he should be smaller. Without having to actually make him like a chick, so, oh well. Alright, here's Malink.
Malink?
Yep, Malink. I like him, actually. So far, I'm really happy with him. Except for they don't actually have a hat for him. So yeah.
That's because you don't have a license for the hat.
Oh, is that what the fuck is going on?
Because apparently you don't have a license for shorts either, because you got some rags on.
What? What's up?
It looks like you got rags on your Link instead of shorts or whatever.
Well, he's supposed to have a tunic. It's supposed to be one piece from the chest all the way down. So I couldn't do that, and I didn't want to put a fucking dress on him. And I kind of figured that there have been other Links in the past that have been a little bit armored. So I figured this little area thing right here still looked good enough for me to get away with. And I didn't want to do leggings, because, like, the leggings are glossy on the guys, and they shimmer like leather, and I was like, that is not fucking right. And I didn't just want to, like, paint him white, because you could do that, too, where I could have put, like, a sticker over his legs and just painted him white, but that looked tacky to me. I'm happy with him, except for his goddamn hat. His hat is an apple attached to a cylinder attached to an apple, and I'm completely aware of the fact that if you look at it, it kind of looks like a dick. I'm fully
I was gonna
aware.
say it looks like a fucked up pill.
Yes, but there's really nothing else I could do. Like, see, I could take you in here and show it to you, because all I got to do is just not save the character, and you'll see what I'm getting at. No, don't random. Here, let's take the damn apple off. Then we'll take the cylinder off.
Yeah, for a second there, it looked like he had something floating near his head instead.
That's because I accidentally moved it. Okay. There, that's him without. And I thought about just doing nothing. But here's the thing. Look at this. I go in here, and these are your fucking hats of choice. He can have a bandana, which is not fucking right. He can have this thing, which is about the...
out.
This is about the closest I could get on his hat without just making it myself. There's a fucking wizard hat, which is wrong. It's just fucking wrong.
I was gonna say, if you could stretch the hats out in the back, that might
Nope,
help, but...
we can't do it. I know.
What wizard?
And then there's this thing, which is also not right. It's fucking... we fucking no. Just hell no. There's like a pirate hat and shit. There's nothing.
Fuck?
The hat does not exist in a way that will help me. So there's nothing that you can do except for what I did. So he has a fucking apple hat. That's what he fucking has. No.
Wow.
Do not save. I need my apple hat. Okay. She is about one of the simplest things that I did in the whole game, and yet I'm super happy with her. I have Red Sonja. I'm happy with it. The toughest thing about her was figuring out how to do the body. Because you were going to see a lot of the body. I knew that. And I had to think she had to be tough, but she's a fantasy art character, so she is very bombshell, but I didn't want her to just be a sex appeal. So I had to make sure that I had the face that was going to be tough, and I got those burning green eyes, because that's a big part of Red Sonja in general. If you've ever seen, there's a very famous image where she's coming out of the water and she's holding a knife in her mouth, and she's got these burning green eyes. So I fucking love Red Sonja. I had to have her in the game. She had to be right, and this is as close as I can get. Like, the gloves are the things I'm most unhappy with. Because the gloves are supposed to cover her whole hand, and they're supposed to be big, like kind of like fencer's gloves, but that doesn't exist in the game. But that's her so far. I'm real happy with her. My frickin' nephew made this guy, and it's stupid, and just to put it out there, you can tell his age when he names the character not gay. So yeah. But he does have he does have Christmas socks though. So there is that.
I was gonna say, he kind of looks like he was trying some Raiden type character.
I have no idea, to be fair. He just asked me could he make one, and I was like, I don't care. I have 100 fucking slots. Make away. Okay, now we're getting to my Final Fantasy stuff. This Final Fantasy 1 Fighter. And yes, as a statement specifically to 8-bit theater, and there's an old rap video that came out years ago. It's like Marlon and Brando. They do a Final Fantasy video where they make a joke where Garland says, "How do you get your hair to match your armor so well? I purposely went out of my way to guarantee that the color on him was only one red. So that's always the same one all the time." So yes, that's Fighter. And on the original sprite, I noticed that on his leg, like where his boot would be, there's a white divider, which I'd never noticed before until I was deciding that I was going to make characters on this. And so then I decided he had to have the cuffed boots, and they had to have that white, or else it wasn't going to be right. But that's him. That's Fighter. That's the way I think he would have looked. And so far, I'm actually real happy with him. I have yet to make their promotion forms. Right now, it's all the base guys. So, like, this is Red Mage. And I purposely decided that with Red Mage, I was going to take a little bit of a liberty, because in Final Fantasy 1, you go to like an elf kingdom and shit like that, so I just decided there should be elves, so I made him an elf. And he has the same thing. Under his cape, right on his boots, he has this white line. So I had to purposely find an armored pair of boots, because for my opinion, Red Mage is one of those characters that can use the armors. He can use the swords, he has magic, but he's never as good as fighter and things like that. So I had to strike a basis. He had to be armored, but he had to be elegant. He had to be small. I wanted his cape to be a big thing. I'm happy with him. His hat was a pain in the ass, because once again, they don't have that hat. So you get three option things, right, that you can like plug onto people. So what I did was I gave him 2 halos. And I adjusted the halos. That's what they are. They're 2 halos, 2 rings. And I adjusted the rings over the hat, blended them the best I could, and then I put those feathers on. And then I went in, and the most tedious part of making the character was I didn't want his eyes to show during attacks. So I kept going into mock battle, and every time he does a special or a move where it zooms in on him, I had to make sure that the rings were tilted in just the right way so they would always hide his eyes. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Do you see right there how I purposely made sure that the brim was so it covers his eyes? And I made sure to do it for this too. I just felt like it added a little bit, because he's got that big collar and shit like that. So he's done. I have no desire to change him. He's as good as he's going to be, really.
Well, technically, if somebody tried to make like a Carmen Sandiego character in here, they could use that same route for the hat. So
you could steal my hat design to do something like that. Yes.
Could.
Actually, yes. To be fair, Wesley, I am finally going to do another Star Trek video. I'm going to come in with some of my ships and a couple of my extra collectibles and whatnot, and I'm actually going to do another episode. Finally going to do another episode talking about my Star Trek. So yes. I have not played that on the PC yet. This is my Black Mage. I took certain liberties. I added these 2 little cape things because I thought he was just way too basic, and I added the chain. And on the sprite, his feet, hands, and hat are all the same color. So I just decided maybe he wraps his hands, so they're like gloves or something. So that's what I came up with. And the only thing I could do was I just made this guy pure freaking black. And then I gave him the yellow eyes. But I'm happy with him so far. And then I added little things of my own design, like trying to like explain his magic. If you break off parts of his armor, you'll see that I actually glyphed him. So as you fight him and you get rid of parts, I went out of my way to put different glyphs all around his body. Like the I have a flaming bird thing on the back of his head. And then if you were to get rid of his armor, which is just that robe, you'll also notice that I have tattoos engraving his entire body. It goes very little into actually being something of that character, but I felt like the armor was going to break off at some point. And rather than just figure out that the whole character was based on that one thing, and that if his armor broke off, I was fucked because he was just going to look goofy, I decided I had to do something extra with him. That's White Mage. White Mage, I decided to change her just a little bit. She was too basic, so I made her like a bunny cat lady thing to add a little bit to her. It wasn't much, but I felt like it made me a little more creative, I guess. I don't fucking know. But I did go out of my way to do something with her. In the game, in the original Final Fantasy 1, when you start the game, in the first town, there is a hammer, like giant fucking heavy hammer. The only two people in the game that can equip that hammer is Fighter and White Mage. So I decided to go against type with her, and White Mage gets a giant, ridiculous, no way in hell hammer. Like, I have the... hammer! It's so fucking ridiculous.
And she keeps dropping... Okay.
Dude, it's so awesome. I just decided I wanted to kind of play off of it. Actually, he said she looks thick. Truth be told, she's actually ridiculously strong. Playing on the same concept that her and Fighter can both hold that hammer, and she's definitely smaller than he is, I purposely decided that she needed to be as buff as the game would allow me to make her. So if you do happen to get the costume off, she's ripped as shit. And then I chose this underwear specifically because it worked well with the red and white. That's honestly why I picked it, because you can see her abs, so you can kind of see she's all tough and shit. And then the red and white I wanted, because that's a big part of White Mage for me, is that color scheme. And then these all had to be added. Little things like those triangles. You have to, I don't know how many people actually play, but in order to do that, you have to go into your colors and stickers, and then you have to go over into your stuff here and see, like, I added triangles across her suit in different areas. Do not save. So she's done. Thief, I actually worked on with, I had Nick over here one night, and he saw that I was doing all the Final Fantasy 1 guys, so we did Thief. It's pretty basic. I figured he needed leather armor. He's not really a grand creation or anything like that, but I feel like he matches the atmosphere, and I kind of gave him like a more like a pirate-esque vibe a little bit, because I need him to be a thief because he's in Final Fantasy, but then I never felt like Thief was worth a shit. Final Fantasy 1. Black Mage, sorry, Black Belt, he sucks. This is about the most basic guy I've made the whole game. The sprite makes him look like he's like a buff dude, but he's just like a dude in a blue gi. He's like the most simple of simple sprites. And we're talking about 8-bit sprites. We're talking about 8-bit sprites.
He's the Dan Hibiki of the...
Yeah, and he very much, in the original sprites, he very much has like Chuck Norris hair, which I was like, what the fuck?
Wow.
This guy, I'm proud of. I spent almost a good hour sitting here with Nick working on this guy to get his cape and everything right, because Garland, we could have just looked off like the Final Fantasy stuff, like that's nowadays, but we were purposely building off the sprites, and we wanted Garland to look reminiscent to the original 8-bit sprite on the Nintendo, so we had to make the cape, because the cape is outlined in white, and that doesn't exist, so we had to add those stickers and get them just perfect, and like we had to make sure that his armor gleamed a type of white, but is more blue. All the little underspots where they added definition was dark and everything, so we really followed his character sprite more than anything else, and I think he turned out fucking awesome. And as an extra little benefit to the character, when we did his body stuff, and we went in and we chose what he was going to say, like down here with Cold Hearted Assassin, when he does his finisher and he knocks you out, he says, "Stay down." And we thought that was cool, because in the original Final Fantasy, when you get to him, he specifically says, "I, Garland, shall knock you all down." This person is not ready. It's kind of like a Valkyrie of sorts. There's 2 character builds I'm working with. The character is not ready. I'm not done with it. I'm not happy with it yet. I'm still debating different armor types and whatnot. I might toss the character entirely. I'm not married to it yet. Here's my Conan the Barbarian, because I made Sonya, so I figured I had to have Conan, right? And he's not done. I intend to add at least one face scar.
Wait.
My version had to be gruff.
I was gonna say, that looks more like the prince from Prince of Persia series.
Like his hair and whatnot is based off the... It's based off a look in the comic books that I liked. He was... have you ever... In fact, you could see the design that I most like for Conan is actually used in Conan Exiles. So if you see what he looks like in there, you'll see the way I prefer him to be.
Isn't Exiles the PC game that lets you just run around bare-ass naked with your...
It's on the PS4 as well, and you could be bare-ass naked, and you could choose... Yes, this is real. You could choose your dick size. Real shit. Real shit. You could choose the size of your whanger, and then just run around whanger flopping.
I'm curious if that was even an option on PS4.
Yeah, it is. On the PS4, you can just have your titties hanging out too. So, because it works with the girls too, you could choose. In fact, there's a tab saying how naked you want to be. Full nudity, partial nudity, or no nudity are your three choices. And the game he says, I know what I'm getting for Christmas. To be honest, though...
It's Christmas morning.
The game does have something really cool to it, though, because when you play the game, the whole point of it is staying alive. That's it. The game is not designed to be like doing quests and side missions and shit. Your whole purpose in Conan Exiles is to not fucking die, and the whole goddamn world is against you. The weather is shitty. You can burn to death, starve to death, die from exposure. It could be too hot, too cold. You need to build fires and get your stuff together real fast. And the other characters on the server, if you're in the like the PvP areas, those motherfuckers need shit to stay alive too. They will kill you to get that shit that they need to stay alive. So you gotta group up, and the whole point of the game is not to go on missions, it's to gather the supplies you'll need to survive. Which is very true to the Conan idea. It's not fucking quests and shit. That's a brutal, deadly fantasy world that is always out to get you. This is Rydia, Final Fantasy IV. Of course, this is after she came back. She's not a little kid anymore. And I primarily just had input on this one. I helped Nick. Like, Nick set some of the bases. I added a lot of the effects, like the snowflakes. And kind of helped him choose what leggings would be best, and got him to choose this dress. So I was there helping him make the decisions, but he primarily made her, because that's Rydia's like his thing. It's almost like his damn waifu. And she is, to be fair. Here she is. This is I don't give a fuck. I did good. This is my Celeste. And I am very happy with her.
Looks kind of close to that Wonder Girl.
Wonder Girl. Like from the comic books?
Yeah.
You think so?
From the far away that I'm looking at, it looks similar.
Yep. Well, she had to be strong, so I made sure that her muscle definition was there. She has like a muscle definition 3. And then, in the original game, on the sprite, this is what she wears. She wears basically Cammy's outfit with a cape. The headband, she needed to have a tough face. but you have to walk a fine line with Celeste. She's beautiful enough to pass for an opera singer, a very a very hardcore beauty of the Final Fantasy VI world that Setzer was looking to marry. And she was like, she looked the part. She could very much pass for a beauty, but she was never taken as such. She was a warrior first and foremost, a general of the Imperial Guard. So I had to be careful to choose the right face, make sure that her definition was right, that she was muscular and tough, but with the right attire, she could pass as a pretty girl. And so I went out of my way to actually do the opera dress as well. And she's not meant to be comfortable in that dress, which is why I purposely put the scowl on her face. Only problem with this is that I wanted a different pair of shoes, and the shoes are bullshit. Like, they're fucking bullshit. Cause, like, they fuck up the socks and shit like that. Like, I had to put these thigh-high things on, which I didn't necessarily want, and I don't know. Some of the things get in your way. Like, you're like, oh, well, what shoes? I guess, like, these are too basic. These I didn't want. This didn't make a lot of sense. I was going to do these, but if you put them on, it takes the socks off. You can't have those socks. And then it does other weird stuff. Like, if I was to put that on and then go into here and put, like, these type of nylon-esque socks, it'll cut the bottom of the socks off, and she'll just have these, like, weird ankle guards. And I didn't like that either, but she's there. And then just because the character art fucking claims that she wears this ugly fucking green thing, I made the ugly fucking green thing. It's ugly, and it's stupid, and I fucking detest it, and this is probably one of the first characters getting deleted when I need space. But since my goal was, I was sitting down with Nick and I said, I'm going to make my favorite Final Fantasy casts to the best of my ability. That's my primary goal in making characters. Unless something catches my attention, like when I made Red Sonja, I said, well, I have to have fucking Conan.
I was going to say that green attire looks more like a wrestling attire for her.
This is Edgar Figaro. He's twin brothers with Sabine. So he's the king of Figaro Castle. And so I needed him to be elegant, but he's no fool. He would definitely wear armor, but I purposely went on him. I figured he'd have like the rapier and do that kind of fighting style, where his brother left the kingdom earlier in life and dedicated himself to martial arts and living off the land. And when you run back into him, he's way bigger than Figaro, but they were twins. So in order to make this dude, what I did was first I made Figaro, then I just copied and pasted Figaro again and went in and changed his body cap and shit. And so they're the same fucking guy, they just have different definition, and I made this dude a lot bigger. And if you've ever played Final Fantasy VI, Sabin is fucking broken. I've also heard people call him Sabin and Sabin, but I always named him Sabin, so that's what I call him. I've heard arguments as to this dude's name being Cyan or Kine. I personally called him Kine my whole life, and that's what I'd still do. He was the sword master of Final Fantasy VI. He's also the oldest guy in that game in terms of your team. Well, okay, that's a lie, because Strago is definitely older than him, but yeah. Strago is like a hardcore grandpa. This is the oldest warrior-esque guy in the game that you got in Final Fantasy VI. And because I said I would make everybody, I made fucking Gao. So there he is. There's fucking Gao. Ugh. Fucking dirty kid. And his... Oh my god. when we fucking looked him up, when we were looking at the sprite, and then we went over to the character concept art, and it started showing us what this dude's patterns and shit, like what he actually looked like, I was like, I have to fucking make that? It's like, he looks fucking awful. This is all Nick. Nick was over one night and he really wanted to make Edge. So the only thing I did was I offered a couple of ideas, like how we got the undergarment part to work and shit like that, but primarily that's Nick's work. Oh, and by the way, because of a character I found today, I will be making He-Man, Scott. I'm going to start working on him.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if you were going to get around... Did you actually find something to work around the chest piece thing?
I might try to make it. I haven't made a complete decision yet, but like there's Shadow from Final Fantasy VI. Just to give reference, we'll go back up to Conan because he's a big motherfucker. If I go into equipment and I do this just right, which it'll take a lot of caressing to make this work, I think I could take this cylinder here. And I think that if I do this right, like if I move it to the chest, and then say, let's see, if I was to rotate it inward like this, all the way, and then push it into his chest, right? And if I made it perfectly on the crossing belt, so if I moved it like if I put it in like all the way in, and then if I got the belt that crosses between those two areas right there, I think that I can kind of make the thing myself, because there's this belt thing right here. Okay, and then, see, I'd go down to the cylinder. And this is still very rough concept. I'm not ready for it yet. But if I do it right, and I do it something like that, where you can't really tell, if I angle it correctly and whatnot, I think that I can make that little chest thing that he's got. So I can design the belt myself, I think. It'll take some work, and I'll have to get pretty fucking creative to make it work. But that one little part alone will give me a basis for He-Man, because I've almost got him with this guy here, just like this. I just have to change his hair and do some tweaking. But I think I'll use Conan as my base, and I'll work around him. And of course, the weapon style that he would end up getting would be, for me anyways, I see him as Siegfried. I'm thinking, see, this is where I have trouble, is that fucking fancy sword he has is hard to guarantee. It's hard to say, but I think this is about the closest I can get to it with a sword, because the rest of them just don't. He has a weird looking, very unique sword. But I'll work on him later, because I found something today that kind of guaranteed that I would have to go back and do it. There's Sid. You were here when we were making him.
Yep.
So
actually,
he's...
I've been there for most of these characters that you were tweaking and making, so...
He's cool, though. I mean, he works out just fine. He's not great. I definitely wish I could have done better with him, but maybe I'll work on him later. Aerith is done now. I have one other Aerith that I'm going to make. I got to thinking about it today, and I'm going to make both Aerith and Tifa and Cloud, which that's going to be the test right there. This is my Aerith.
Are you gonna make drag?
No, yes I am. Yes, I very much am, because I'm going to make the dress-up versions. Like where she wore that red dress, I'm going to make that red dress Aerith. And I'm going to make my Tifa in the blue dress.
And you're going to get Cloud all dressed up.
Yep. But there's my Tifa. She was tough because almost no part that I tried actually worked. So I had to go with like a battle-damaged, roughed-up Tifa, because her black skirt thing has a belt. Well, none of the dresses have belts, except for this one. So I was like, okay, well, I'll work with it. And then Tifa has these black, long gloves, but she also wears these brown gloves here. So it was a pain in the ass, because at the same time, she also wears this type of sports bra tank top looking thing. And there was nothing like that I could do. Like, this was as close as I could get. I tried every shirt in the game. Like, there's just a regular fucking shirt and little things like that, and then there's like a wrap, and there's like a bra, but I didn't think a bra was right. And then she has those straps and shit. Well, there's like a thing when you go into the Raven suit, like you can pick bikinis and shit. Well, she doesn't have one right now, but I mean, when I was creating her, this is as close as I could get. And the second I knew it was right, though, like I kept modifying her and like changing her body type and shit like that to try to get her just right, because she's another one you need to walk that fine line with. She's a martial artist. She's tough, and she's never taken for the fool. She is a tough, strong, powerful martial arts woman. But she's also one of the single hottest, greatest bombshells in Final Fantasy history. So it's real hard to get her the way I want her. So I went with Talim's fighting style, and I feel like it really does work. But the thing that really sold me was when I saw her, like, all her body cap and everything like this looked fine, but when I landed the special and I seen her up close, I was like, it's fucking perfect. See it?
Not yet.
Grant me strength. My specialty.
There, I just used the special, so you'll see it here soon. And I think that when you see the special, when you see her move in that wind, I think she looks fucking perfect.
My specialty.
So I fought with her for a while, but I'm really happy with the way she turned out for right now. Until they release some new stuff and I can modify her more.
Now, have you got everything unlocked that you can get unlocked normally?
Not everything yet, no. I'm still... It takes like 560 SP to unlock even one thing, and you only get about 200, sometimes 300 if you get a gold going through the arcade, so it takes a while to get even one part. I could share any of these over the network too, but right now the one that was currently shared is Tifa, so we'll update and share her again. But I was sitting around with fucking Nick on one. It was just on here. I was just talking to him and whatnot. This is the best I've been able to do with Vincent. I really am disappointed. They don't have the parts I need to make him work the way I want him to. Like, I got his big gold arm. I got his cape. I got his boots. I mean, everything about him is right. That's his hair. That's his glowy red eyes. I mean, he's there. He just doesn't seem right to me. There's something that seems off about him. So then I said, well, I'll make him as a female.
Something does seem off.
So then I went in and I made him as a female. And I'm kind of working with the concept of making him as flat-chested as I can and working the same angle and seeing if I could pull it off, because the girls have parts that the guys don't get. Like, the girl has the Ivy arm. The guys don't have the Ivy arm. And the girls get these, like, shoulder things, these shoulder drapes, which was really helpful for things like a guy that's supposed to have that big, giant shoulder cape. But as it stands right now, I don't know if either one that I'm actually necessarily happy with. So after I made all these Final Fantasy VII people, somebody said, hey, you've still got to make Yuffie. And I was like, God damn it, I don't want to make fucking Yuffie. But I decided to go ahead and do it. And fucking criminally, she's one of the best fucking characters I've made.
Oh, you also got Barrett to do as well, so...
Right. Yuffie is almost fucking spot on. Like, it's goddamn disgusting. I got her big socks, her dumbass orange shoes, her fucking shorts, her weird shirt, her single armored arm piece thing. I even got those head tails that come off the back of her mask. My Yuffie is pretty much fucking hardcore spot on. I even gave her that weird fucking gear on her leg that she has in the game. And her face is almost fucking perfect. Like, she very much is Yuffie. Sadly, I nailed it. Like, she's one of the best characters I've made. And then I even got her picture to be where she's sitting inside her weapon, all fucking, you know, like childish cutesy. So, sadly, I did fucking fantastic with Yuffie. Final Fantasy IV Rosa, I got her. She was a straight-up pain in the ass. Easily one of the toughest characters I've worked on to date. But I got her. Every part of her is patterned. Not a single part of her is without a special kind of pattern or color or tattoo or sticker or something in order to make her what she is. Like, you see her legs, there's a pattern. And her boots have two different kinds of patterns on them. And her arm things have a pattern. And her little bracer things in the back, those little tassel things or whatever, ribbons, I don't know what the fuck you call them. Those have a pattern. The armor has a little pattern that I put on it. She wears a crown thing and a circlet, and neither one of those things are in the game, so I had to make them. And the way I made them, I stuck a moon in her head. That's what that thing is. I took a moon and I stabbed her in the forehead, and that's how I got that circlet. And then her crown is not actually a crown, it's a mask. And I just pushed the mask into her head so that it would look like a little crown thing. And her underwear is 4 different stickers. It's 2 triangle stickers, and then it's 2 tattoos on top of the triangle stickers in order to create that weird purple underwear fucking thing she has. Oh, and I went out of my way to put a little thing on the earrings to make sure that they would be right, too. I'm not done with Terra yet, but I'm getting there. I'm getting to the point where I think she's getting awful close to being done. But that's her. And then because Terra, like when you get far enough, Terra or Tina or whatever name you want to give her, when you get far enough, she turns into an Esper, so I remade the exact same character and changed what she was, so she would be this animal thing. So that's my Esper form that I'm working on. I'm not 100% happy with it yet. I still got some stuff to do, try to make it a little bit better, but so far that's my concept with it. I just finished Cecil, or Cecil. I call him Cecil. Some people get pissed off and call him Cecil but whatever. This is my first concept of him. The very first one I'm making is the white bodysuit thing. I will make the sprite later, because the sprite is a gold armored paladin, and that's the one that Nick is fucking adamant that we have. So I have the basis of his character, and I'll let Nick copy this, and then modify him to be the PlayStation or to be the Super Nintendo sprite. I also have to make the Dark Knight Cecil, and that's where I'm getting hung up. Is that seems to be really tough to do. That's the guys I've made. Well, almost. I have guys at the bottom here, but they're different. Like, that's my daughter wanted to make a guy. This is one of my Takis that I've worked on. It's nothing special. It's just Taki's supposed to be a Konoichi, and I wanted to give her that, like, because they're famous for sneaking into places by being seductive and whatnot, so I gave her the spy dress and shit like that. Kind of how you would see her if you ran into her at a party. And then all these other characters down here are based on questionable content. Look, I got asked to do it, and so I got a picture, and I got Asagi. So I made Asagi. And then I went out of my way after making Asagi. Somebody asked me about another character, and I don't think she's right yet. I still need work, and I don't even know her name. I was just sent a picture, and they asked me to make her, and there's the fucking retarded huge boob girl, so she's there. And then these two characters. So there's Sarah. Some people will know what she's from. Some people will not. Those that do not, I'm not going to go out of my way to explain who she is. Just, that's her. And yes, I got the character. That's pretty much the best that I possibly could do. And then I made Cilia. And she's from the same show. And then these characters are still in work. So now I'll go to my other tab. This blew me the fuck away. I have not modified this at all. This is somebody else's work, and it's fucking sick. That is Zedam from Iria. That is an old anime, a badass anime. It's I believe it was called Iria. The Zedam Project, which that's IRIA. That's so sick. I can't believe they got this. Here we go. There's She-Ra. So I got that. She doesn't really need any real introduction. This blew me away. Oh, that She-Ra, I did modify that. That's not just that guy's work. This I did not modify. This is this guy's work completely. I have not touched it at all. And I thought this was fucking sick. This dude kicked ass. And as soon as I seen him, I had to get him. Yes! This is fucking sick. I've been seeing all kinds of Kamen Rider. But Some of them are...
If you find stronger...
Some of them are awful. Like, I found ones that are really cool. I found ones that are awful. This dude, when I seen him, he was the first one I seen that I thought legitimately was a damn good job, and I downloaded him. I did not modify him. That's somebody else's work. He's fucking sweet. Give all the props to the dude that pulled that off. And I've yet to fight with him and had his helmet break off, so I'm curious how close they got the face underneath. This I modified. This is only partially this person's work. I modified it, I changed the body a little bit, and I also selected a different face, modified certain colors, and added a pattern. So this is mostly this other guy's work, but I completed it. There's my other Bruce Lee. I did make modification to this. I changed the face and modified the skin color from where the guy had it originally. This, I have not modified. This blew me the fuck away. Fucking him. Dude, that's amazing. Okay, this is modern Laura. That's pretty solid. Hey, what's going on, man? This is only slightly modified by me. I added a couple things. This is easily 90% the other person's work. Yes, it is Tomb Raider. This is modern Tomb Raider Laura. I made another version of her in the original style. This is all this guy's work. I did not do this. This is fucking Darth Maul, and he's sick as shit. He's the best one I've seen. I've seen a lot of people try this. I downloaded 3 of them so far. This is the best one. I deleted the other 2 as soon as I found this. This guy, I can't remember his actual name. It says CCO. I don't remember if that's accurate, but I do remember him from Rurouni Kenshin. So when I seen him, I was like, oh, that's fucking sick. And I immediately took him. That's fucking crazy. They gave him eyes and shit. Okay. This was not like this. Not at all like this. Oh, hold on, people. Someone's calling me. Okay, I'm back. Somebody is stranded, so I gotta go help a friend. They can't get into their car or something like that. I don't know if they locked their keys in it or they're saying their door is sealed and they can't unlock it for whatever reason. Could be iced over. I don't know until I go look, but I gotta go do that, guys. So this is my Advent Children Cloud, and this is mine. What this guy had when I downloaded this character was simply fucking awful. Like, he had a basis, and that was it. It wasn't even close to what this is now. That's my work. And that sucks, so I'm going to give you guys a warning ahead of time if you guys are playing this. When you download a character, no matter how much of it you change, even if you modify every little itty-bitty piece of it and make it completely your own, it still counts as another person's character, and you cannot use it if you go online or do something like that. So, like, I've gone on to streams and shit like that. Like, very recently, yesterday, I was on a stream, and I wanted to show off some of my characters, and I made him, and I couldn't show him off. Because I have to remake him piece by piece in my unique tab in order to be able to do that. Oh, shit! Yes! 300! It's sick that I can celebrate that because of such a small channel, but that's... I'm in love with that. Fucking love it. That's my Sephiroth. That is also my design. This guy had it completely fucking different. It was not like this. It was nowhere near this good. He had like the big giant belt thing on him, and he had a different coat, and he like had a different face. So his face wasn't quite right, and his eyes were like a green, and I went in and kind of modified them to this, like, not as... I did this, but like I said, I didn't realize until after I'd put the work in that I'm going to have to remake these guys piece for piece on the other tab. Dude, yes! Yes, that would be sick, Neptunia. Dude, that's one of those games that I always want to play, and I never fucking get around to it. I just end up watching other people play it. Okay, so before I leave, because I got like 40 other fucking characters to show off, but like I said, I gotta go help somebody. So before I leave, for you, Scott, for you, since you're on the mic with me, and I promised you I would make He-Man if I found a reason to make him. Well, you saw that I have She-Ra. Yeah. Okay? So that's kind of a reason to make He-Man, and He-Man would somewhat fit with some of my other characters, but today I found something that guarantees I'm going to go make that He-Man for you. Bam!
What, you found Lion-O?
Nope. Somebody did a fucking sick-ass Skeletor.
He-Man!
That's right. So it has my attention now. I will make He-Man. that guaranteed it for you. You got it now. I will make your He-Man character. As soon as I found Skeletor, I was like, fuck! Now I have to make him. I was like, you bitches.
You know what? I just realized something else you should try and see if you can make.
What?
Cobra Commander.
There are some other characters that I can't show off right now. Like I said, I'm really pushing it by not leaving. But I got Solid Snake that I've made. Hinata, that's not my work. It's somebody else's. I made all 4 turtles. The only one that somebody else done was a quick Michelangelo. I modified all the rest and made it work. I have Spawn. That's my Laura. That's a modified Kefka. Highly modified from me. There's Angeal, which I'm going to be modifying him to fit my Cloud. That's my Cloud. The thing this guy had is not that Cloud. That's my fucking Cloud. And I'm going to be making him on my unique tab and telling everybody how to make him, because he's one of those characters that everybody's always trying to make. And my Cloud, not to brag, I'm very happy with him. I even figured out a way to do his stupid shirt. He has the single shoulder pad. He has boots that make sense to me. He's got that big-ass dumb belt. The only thing I don't like about my Cloud is his hair. But if you've played this game and you've tried all the hairs, you know why he has that hair. Because the other one that would work is white hair, and you can't fucking change the color. It will fight you till your dying breath. It won't let you do it. But yeah, I even found a way to actually make his weird sweater tank top like turtleneck. So I'm going to be using parts of my modification from how I make my cloud, and I'm going to be putting it to Angeal, and I have a Zac down here that I have to modify. That Queen of Hearts is sick as shit, and yes, that is, in fact, Char fucking Aznable, and I'll teach you guys how to make him too. But like I said, I gotta go. That's Cell. That is exactly who that is, in case you're wondering. And yes, that is my Zelda. So, I gotta go. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to end it this early, but I really gotta go help somebody, so I gotta get out of here. Later on, guys, thanks for joining me, and I will try to be on here Thursday.